Hello, listener, and welcome to the Southern 7 podcast. I'm Shauna Ryan, Community Outreach Coordinator for Southern 7 Health Department and Head Start. The Southern 7 podcast is a service provided by Southern 7 Health Department to help you and your family live better and stay healthy. It is recorded at our main offices in Ullen, Illinois. Southern 7 Health Department and Head Start serves the lower 7 counties of Illinois with public health clinic offices and Head Start centers in each of the counties we serve. If you like today's episode, please share it with a friend and make sure to check out our other podcasts on the Southern 7 app, on Spotify, and through our website at southern7.org. Well, listener, we're so glad you're taking time out of your busy day to be with us and to learn more about a topic that's affecting our nation's youth in a way that we've not seen in decades. Now, before we get started, I just want to simply state that the role of a public health department is to focus on disease prevention and to promote safe health practices. Our topic today is vaping and how Southern 7 Health Department is working with local schools and communities to reduce its health impact, all without judgment or ridicule, but with sound health advice. So stay with us. We'll be back in less than 60 seconds.
Southern 7 Health Department and Head Start, making a difference in your community, one family at a time.
Over the last few years, cancer prevention has progressed by leaps and bounds, and one way is through genetic cancer testing, which is simply the process of looking for genetic mutations in your DNA to determine your risk for developing certain cancers. To find out if you qualify for genetic cancer testing through Southern 7 Health Department, visit southern7.org or call
634-2297.
Welcome back to the Southern 7 podcast. I'm Shauna Ryan. Joining me today is Sydney Shelton. She is a health educator here at Southern 7 Health Department. Hi, Sydney. Thank you so much for being with me today and for doing the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Is this the first time you've done a podcast with us here?
This is indeed my first time, but I remember when I was applying here, I listened to most of the podcasts, and I even told the person interviewing me, I'm like, yep, I need to be on one for sure.
Oh, well, you are wonderful. You've helped us out on a lot of different activities that we've been on. You've done some TV interviews with us. So, yeah, this is right up your alley. So thank you so much for doing this with us today. Cindy, we're going to be talking today about tobacco prevention. And we all know that earlier this year, the state of Illinois passed the vaping ban inside public places. So we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. But I want to have folks get a little more comfortable and get more familiar with what we do here at Southern 7. So tell us about the tobacco prevention program here at the department.
Yeah, so Southern 7 utilizes something called the Illinois Tobacco Quit Line. It's a partnership between Illinois Department of Public Health, the Tobacco Control Program, and the American Lung Association. So basically what it does is it offers cessation services for all residents in Illinois, and it assists with all forms of tobacco, being chewed tobacco, cigarettes, e-cigarettes, and vapes. The best part about the Quit Line that I think all residents 13 years of age and older are eligible to receive counseling. So parental permission is no longer required for callers 13 to 17 years old.
Okay, so when it comes to getting any assistance that age group needs, I mean, what are we talking about there with them?
They can be counseled by phone or online. They can even utilize the online chat that's on ITQL, but they don't get nicotine replacement therapy. So that's only for ages 18 and up, and they have to make sure that you're not pregnant. So a lot of the NRTs that they use are patches, gum, the lozenges, an inhaler, nasal spray, and they also have some medications as well, but those are usually for people 18 and up.
So how do they know that the individual's under the age of 18?
You have to send an ID in, so a picture of your ID.
Okay. All right. So there are some steps to confirm that this person is in fact of age for additional services and so on. Okay. That's really good. Now, is this something that's available in more languages? I mean, is it available to various groups?
Yeah. They always have a Spanish-speaking staff. They're always on site. There are a lot of interpretation services for over 250 plus languages. And there's even a telecommunication line for individuals that are deaf or hard of hearing if you call a certain number, which is 800-501-1068.
Okay. All right. So this is something that is available to a wide range of individuals, ages, and so on. Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, on top of the sessions and the chat rooms, tell us a little bit about the nicotine replacement therapy and the non-nicotine medications that's offered through the Quit line.
Yeah. So the nicotine replacement therapies that are typically used are the non-nicotine medications are the bupropion and varenicline. We have to make sure that you're old enough to take these because they can in some way be harmful to younger individuals that are using it, but half the time they really want to use more of the replacements for nicotine. It's just like patches, the gum, the lozenges, and the inhaler and nasal spray.
Okay, great. So there's, again, a lot of different therapies that are available for folks.
Yeah.
Depending on their need, right? So,
yeah, exactly. And they're free. That's the best part.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think that's the best. Great.
So do they have to have a prescription? Is this something they need to go through their doctor for?
Yes. In some ways, I know they have different types of healthcare providers that they're in touch with, and also just in general insurances. So I know Medicare is one of the big ones that they automatically look for Medicare A or B and to see if you qualify for that. But if you qualify it under your insurance, like with your private doctor, then you'd have to get it prescribed by them.
Okay, so tell us about the referral program that Southern 7 has with the other agencies, clinics, hospitals.
Yeah. So the referral program, it's really unique in a way that me and my boss, Natalie, that we get to hop on Zoom and we can train other facilities, healthcare facilities, to kind of learn how to refer their patients when needed. And so how that works is we get on, we help them out. We give them all of the instructions on how you do it. This is the kind of policy when it comes to it, and this is what we can provide. And we just recently did rural health, but it's just really neat because like we can go through the ITQL and get a lot of resources that are available to them and help them out.
And this is available to anybody in the state of Illinois?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Do you know if other states have a similar program where folks can get in?
I'm not quite sure. I just really looked into Illinois for right now.
So they can. So if you're outside of Illinois, you can just contact maybe your local health department in your region, and maybe they can direct you to where you need to go.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the e-cigarettes. And again, for those that don't know, as of January 1, the state of Illinois did pass a ban on the use of e-cigarettes in indoor public spaces, as well as, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, within 15 feet of an entrance. So it's very similar to the cigarette ban as far as smoking inside. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we hear a lot about vaping in our region. And you know, honestly, I don't see it a whole lot here. I think probably in other parts of the state, we probably see it a little more often. Mm-hmm. But we do have it here. What are some things that the health department is doing to help families, help children? Tell us about the program there.
Yeah, so Catch My Breath is a program that we do here among the education staff. We go into schools. We also give this curriculum to the teachers as well in order for them to maybe teach it later on, or for it to become a part of one of their yearly aspects of their curriculum. So what it is we come in, we show kids, hey, these are e-cigarettes. This is what it looks like. Watch out for them. We also let them know how dangerous it is that these big marketing companies are taking advantage of young adults' minds. They're specifically placing all of these marketing schemes on social medias that directly target young individuals. So in their mind, it makes sense, but it's sad. It's really, really sad. So we go over the marketing scheme, and then we kind of just look over, what can I do to prevent this in my school? How can I help my classmates? And that's when we kind of utilize the Quit line, Illinois Quit line. Mm-hmm. And that's when our teachers are kind of educated on how to get that help for them. They know what the quit line is. So that's the best part about it when we get to go into health classrooms is we're not only educating students, we're also educating the teachers and the staff that could really have an influence on it.
Okay, so for people who aren't in that class, because I know I'm not in that class.
Yeah.
For someone who might not know or may want some more information, what are e-cigarettes? What's the definition behind it as far as what classifies as an e-cigarette?
Yeah, so I'll just give you like a clear definition that I give everybody. So an electronic cigarette, it's defined as any product containing or delivering nicotine or any other substance intended for human consumption. It can be used by a person in any manner for the purpose of inhaling vapor or aerosol from the product. And so a lot of these, they can be in different many shapes and sizes. That's one of the other things that we educate on because a lot of them look like daily appliance uses. I mean, they can look like USB drives and you would never know unless you're educated on the subject.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because some of them look like little cartridges that you would hold, or they just come in different forms. And
they do, and they come in fun shapes. So, I mean, all kids think, I'm like, hey, this kind of looks like a fidget spinner, or,
Oh, my.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just, you can definitely tell when you look at it as a large picture or whole picture that it is targeted to a demographic that is way too young to be inhaling anything like that or make conscious decisions about what they're putting into their body.
Because one of the things that came about recently, again, tell me how this works exactly, the flavors. I remember when e-cigarettes came around, there were different flavors. Has that been banned yet? What's happening there?
I know recently that mint and all the other flavors, such as like, I think it was mint and there was orange and, just this fun flavors to kind of distract the consumer by, hey, you're inhaling something that's bad for you, but hey, we're going to make it taste good, so that's all right. But one of the main things is they got rid of the ones like the fruity, the good flavors. And that was just for the pods themselves that contain the nicotine. Mm-hmm. So you have to buy the device and then you have to buy the nicotine pods separately. So those are what has been only decreased, as it can only be either tobacco flavor or menthol flavor. The whole new thing that we're coming to terms with right now is disposables. And these are, yes, so these still have to be charged, but they're not a pre-filled pod. So they still have all of the flavoring, like, bubble gum, anything they could think of, raspberry, just everything that you would want. So you can still have that flavor, but it's going to be more money and it's going to be in a disposable device they can just throw away after.
So it's like a one-use kind of a
thing. It's like, I think it has like over like 500 hits or something like that, I think. But for the most part, those are still, after mint and all the jewel pods and stuff like that kind of went out with the ban, they're finding new ways.
Well, and one of the things that, people thought, you got all these flavors and everything's all nice and neat and you got this little package. Mm-hmm. It's got to be better for me.
Right.
And it's not, right?
Yeah. Well, kids often think, when they think of vape, hey, I'm inhaling water vapor. Right. That's what I'm inhaling. Yeah. I'm only inhaling the flavor. I'm the good stuff. But you're not. And there's stories out there and myths out there that say, hey, you're just inhaling water vapor, but you're not. You're inhaling toxic chemicals and even tiny fragments of metal. There's all kinds of different things, and you're also, there's a brand of vape that I don't know if you've heard of. It's another form of disposable vape. You're inhaling formaldehyde.
Okay, listener, we just want to take a moment and interject a point here rather quickly, that formaldehyde is not found in all e-cigarettes. So if you have any questions about a particular product, you can give us a call here at the health department. We'll be happy to help you find that information. But we just wanted to clarify that for you in case you had any questions.
That is one of the most shocking things. And when I personally go and teach about tobacco or anything, I tell the kids, I said, would you want to inhale formaldehyde when that is used for when you're on your deathbed, like literally.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's a lot to kind of think about all the things that these kids are inhaling into their bodies, but they don't know all the facts. So
Well, and when vaping first started, a lot of people were using that as a replacement for cigarettes.
Yeah.
Thinking they weren't getting as much nicotine and all the other, but that's not right.
No. And if you think about it, with cigarettes, if you wanted to smoke, you had to have a lighter and a cigarette, and maybe you even had to go outside to smoke it. But with e-cigarettes, all you have to do is charge it, or maybe it's already charged, and you can just smoke it right then and there. It's effortless. There's no harsh smell. It's not going to stick in your clothes and your hair. So when people think about it, it can't be that bad if there's not all that smoke and smell, but it's just convenient now to do that.
Well, and like you said, it's a water vapor. So with vaping, then, when they exhale that and it gets on surfaces.
Yes.
Where cigarette smoke, it kind of permeates.
Yeah.
But it's not the same kind of a thing. Is there a hazard to other people around you, not just from the air, but from tabletops and whatnot?
Absolutely. I think, and that's one of our main initiatives too, with going and trying to make public parks smoke free and e-cigarette free, because it's completely harmful to everyone and anyone around it. So
babies that might be in your home, if you're vaping and you're getting those particles on the table, an infant can easily ingest that.
Absolutely. And it's an aerosol.
Yeah.
So it's already not good, but it's aerosol mist full of small particles, all kinds of heavy metals, nicotine, everything. So, and when ingest from small infants, it could lead to nicotine poisoning in the long run. So,
oh my.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to stop scaring ourselves for a second here, because I have to admit that's a little frightening. And again, we're not degrading anybody for using this. This is not the topic of this conversation. We don't want people to think, oh my goodness. We're just wanting you to have the information and know the facts, listener, to make sure that you're making the right decisions for you. So that's why we are doing this today. Okay, when it comes to vaping in our region, and when I say our region, we're talking about the lower 7 counties, Southern Illinois. Do we see vaping a lot? Are we seeing it in our schools quite a bit?
Yeah, I know when I first started here, which was about 5-6 months ago, I went to a lot of meetings at the schools, especially local schools and places where I am from personally. And all of the teachers and staff that were there, even superintendents, stressed how badly we need a vape curriculum and vape prevention, how they need smoke detectors in the bathrooms, vaping detectors. It has been the utmost importance for them. That is always the first thing that they say when we sit down. But we're definitely seeing just an increase overall in our region, but you're not seeing it in a lot of the adults you think you would. We're seeing it more in kids and high school ages.
Because that's who they're marketing to.
Exactly, yeah.
And plus, as adults, we've heard how bad cigarette smoking is for our health. We've grown up with that. So you've got a whole new generation of kids that, while they really didn't grow up with cigarettes very much, they are growing up with something totally new.
Yeah.
And kind of exciting for them. It's all packaged nice and pretty and what have you.
So they're just changing the narrative.
They're just changing the narrative, exactly. So we talked about the hazards of vaping versus smoking, but let's kind of look at that for just a little bit. How do you compare smoking cigarettes with vaping?
Honestly, as I see them kind of as equals.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, and I see vaping more harmful just for the fact that, and what's so infuriating being a public health professional is this is so new. We don't know the consequences. We don't know what's going to happen. We've seen what's happened with tobacco. It causes lung cancer. And so scientists do think that along the way, vaping is we've certainly seen signs of it causing lung cancer, but in the long run, I think vaping is going to be much more dangerous. You're consuming such high levels of nicotine that not only is it addicting, but it kind of just takes over every ability, like in your mind, your neurons, kind of just, there's always something in the back of your mind, hey, we need that. And so, I think that's just kind of puts you front and center with the hazard that we have right now and just the effects it has on a person.
Because, when we first started seeing vaping in Illinois, it seemed like right away we started seeing incidents of of teenagers hospitalized, of succumbing to vape smoking. It seems like it's happening faster.
Yeah.
But then again, it's affecting them, like you said, in other ways. You're inhaling particles, and it's causing pneumonia and other situations like that. So it's something that it's going to take a while for us to know those lasting effects of it.
Yeah, I think so too. And especially like my age category, like I'm 23 years old. So I know when I went to school full of vapes, I mean, that's just something that it's kind of like a teddy bear, like a little kid going to class, wanting to share what they have, something that's special to them. That's what people see my age or even younger than me say, hey, we have a vape, so we must be cool. Like, let's show it off a little. Like, I mean, and when you really think about it, it's kind of just more of a safety blanket to them. But in the end, it's absolutely not. So,
well, it's, we're all about the new toys.
Yes.
That's just kind of how we are as humans. We're all about the new toys and the way it's been packaged, kind of
bigger and better.
Yeah.
Newer. Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
I've got it. Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's go back to the quit line quickly. But before we do that, is there anything else you'd like to add about the program? Any message maybe to parents who are listening, kids who are listening right now?
I would just say keep an eye out. Every single day there's something new out there. And like Shauna said, we do want the bigger, we want the better, we want the newest toy. But with that, it doesn't mean better or safer because there's still so many things in daily life that we use every day, but we know that they're not good for us. So I would just say keep an eye out for e-cigarettes. Just try not to. They're so addictive. I mean, 5% nicotine, that is just crazy to me, but just keep an eye out for it. Since e-cigarettes are more obtainable, I guess, like you can get them faster and you can use them more often, that's why e-cigarettes are worse than cigarettes,
and they're probably more concentrated too.
No, 100%.
You're not smoking the leaf or whatever that's in the cigarette, the tobacco. You're actually ingesting a vapor which can get into your system a lot quicker.
And with the pods too, you can get like a 3% or 5% nicotine percentage. I mean, everybody goes for the 5% because you want the highest, right? But that, I mean, in the end, and people think, hey, I'll just drop down to 5% so I can quit. That's not the case. It's always just going to be way more concentrated than you need it to be to eventually quit smoking.
Okay,
so.
Well, here's a dumb Shauna question.
No, nothing's dumb.
Here it comes, people, and you can go, this woman's crazy. Okay, filters on a cigarette. So is there anything like that on an e-cigarette, or are they, there's nothing like that? So you're getting the full dose of everything, just as if you were smoking an unfiltered cigarette. I mean, comparison, you know how it works.
When you look at it, yes, that's exactly how I would see it, because you're straight inhaling. I mean, the coil, it's all heated up, it's all coming in, and that's how it's turned into a vapor, but you're inhaling all of that. It's not going through any film, it's not going through anything to kind of block out those harmful chemicals, even though, it's harmful anyway, but there's nothing blocking it. So
what about like the glass particles and stuff that you hear in them? Same thing? Is there?
Because they're so small. The small, glass, metal.
Okay. All right, well, I'm just petrified right now. Anyway.
I know, yes.
But that's why we're doing this, people. To scare me and everybody else. No, I'm kidding. All right, so real quick, how can folks get in touch with the Quit Line? What is that number again? What do they need to know?
So if you want to get in touch with the Illinois Tobacco Quit Line, I would definitely give me a call or Southern 7 a call. Okay. If you don't want to go through us, that's completely fine, because I get it. People want to do it on their own. You can call them by phone, which is 866-784-8937, and that is available from 7 to 11 daily. And then you can also do the online enrollment, and that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is www.quityes.org. Or you can go on the online chat at the same website, www.quityes.org.
Okay, and going back to that quit line number, it's also 866-QUIT-YES. So a lot of quit yeses there to help you get to where you need to be. QuitYes.org, quit yes, and so on. Okay, well, Sydney, thank you so much for chatting with me today. This has been very eye-opening for me in a lot of kind of frightening ways, but it's good to have this information. I know that our residents, our folks, our families are so grateful to have you out going in and being open about this and making this conversation available. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Just for the safety of all of us, if you are at a restaurant or a bar or a public area where you know there's no smoking or vaping, go ahead and give a call to either your local health department or or just anywhere, honestly. Just give a call and let us know, because we can take those complaints and make a difference in your community.
Great. And they are anonymous. Right?
They are anonymous. Yes, absolutely. You can put your name if you want to, but you don't have to.
All right. Well, Sydney, thanks again for coming in and talking with me. We're going to have you back at another point just to kind of give an update on if there's anything new going on with vaping or if anything changes within the state that we need to know about. We'll make sure that everybody gets that information.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Thanks a lot. All right, folks, we've been talking with Sydney Shelton. She is a health educator here at Southern 7 Health Department, and you have been listening to the Southern 7 podcast. If you'd like to hear more of our podcasts, you can download them through our Southern 7 app. Say that fast 3 times. You can download them through the Southern 7 app. You can also catch them on our website at southern7.org. And you can also listen on Spotify. So make sure you check that out. For all of us here at Southern 7 Health Department, thanks for listening and have a great day.